Hello and welcome to lesson 4 in the AI Resume Masterclass. Today we're going to be talking about the professional experience section, the most important video in this entire course, so please do pay attention. Without further ado, let's jump in and get started. First, we're going to talk about the objective of the job history section, how far back to actually go in your professional history. We're going to talk about task to achievement transformation, and how to document that, adding metrics, targeted experience for each job description, formatting this section, and then final review. So let's go ahead and get started. If you're viewing this on YouTube or out on social media, this is just one part of a complete free course. There's 7 lessons, so make sure to join the free complete course at school.com/AI-resume-masterclass. There you will get access to all 7 video lessons, again, completely free. You'll be able to download that gold standard resume template that we're building off of throughout the entire course. So super important for you to have that component so you're not building from the ground zero or from nothing. We also have a community where we have a Q&A. You can get your questions answered, and even subtopic threads where you can ask specific questions about things like interviewing and things like that. So again, go join that group. It's completely free. I know you get a lot of value out of it. Also, subscribe and follow me on social media on YouTube as well as Instagram at Lance Wills Coaching. That's my handle on both of those social media platforms. And share this course. First of all, it's going to help you and your peers. It's going to reinforce your learning, and you'll achieve results faster if you have an accountability buddy. So taking this course alongside someone else, making sure you're staying up with things, will help deliver results faster. So let's go ahead and jump into the actual course. One, objective of your job history section. So why even have this section in your resume? Well, first of all, let's just get some nomenclature out of the way. Professional experience is the same thing as job history, but which one sounds better? Professional experience does. That's why we use it. Okay, so just want to know we use those terms interchangeably. And it details the roles you had at which company and which dates. It includes 3 sections. So first of all is sort of the description header, which has the title of the role you were in, the company name, potentially location, as well as dates of employment. Then we have a paragraph section of responsibilities, and it's your high-level functional areas of your role or that you managed. It's the what you did. And then the success bullets below that are quantified summaries of your accomplishments, profit-driven, cost, time savings, efficiencies, etc. And we'll go into more detail on all that so you understand very clearly what those are and how to build them. And also you want to provide clear ownership. So it's your responsibilities at a glance, scope of your role, as well as seniority level. Again, all of these things you're trying to communicate and articulate as quickly as possible for a recruiter to scan it, or those pesky ATS application tracking system bots. You want to make sure you get through and bypass all those filters. Communicate your responsibilities. So again, the paragraph covers all of your responsibilities, beginning with the most important, or what you spend most of your time on, or spent most of your time on, then decreasing in importance as you move down in the paragraph. And you also want to show your measured impact, so your proof of results, metrics that demonstrate your successes, and tie those outcomes to business impact. Why are they hiring you? It's not just to move, chips from one pile to the next, right? It's to impact the business, help grow the business, help move the company and the business forward. And you really want to show a progression through all of your work history and your roles of increased responsibility, bigger scope over time, and stronger metrics, how you've just gotten better and better, really, again, impacting the business for better. So here is our gold standard resume. I just wanted to point out the professional experience section takes up the majority of the real estate on your resume. You can see here it starts on the first page and flows over into the second page. And then I use different colors to denote different roles. Okay, and so if you count here, there's actually 8 roles, and it covers about 15 years of work history, which is really what we've been articulating throughout this course. Again, these are rough guidelines. You're able to vary from those. It's not a big deal. You're able to sort of, shift if you create more real estate or more bullets with one role and you need to sort of consolidate another role. You can play around with that. You can play around with margins and a lot of things you could do to make them all fit and look easily readable. Like there's a lot of information here But because we use a consistent format of a bold headline, paragraph, and bullets, it's very clear to see what roles, where they start and where they end. And here's really the big takeaway, because people are always wondering, like, how do you build that section for each job? Again, you have that description line, that header line, then you have a paragraph. These are your responsibilities. This is what you did, and it decreases. So most impactful or most important, what was most time consuming is at the top. So if you see here, high level, defined the go-to-market strategy, budget, pricing, and roadmap for financial technology, fintech, B2B startup in partnership with the CEO and executive team. At the high level, very clear. Oh, okay, this person ran go-to-market for this company. Then next, drove customer acquisition, retention, growth, and sales, leveraging lead gen, marketing automation. I won't read the whole thing, but there is all of the functions that you managed. Again, so each of those functions within your role. And then we get into some of the more sort of keywords that we use to really articulate what you actually did in that role. If we move on to the next sentence, negotiated contracts, managed agencies, and directed all creative decisions. Got it. Very high level. It's more like administrative type of things. Mapped analytics and reporting to support in-depth analysis of CAC, customer acquisition costs, ROI, return on investment, and LTV, lifetime value. Okay, so there it is. Got it. I know exactly what this person did in this role. That's great. Next, below that, you see we have our success bullets, right? This is the how well you did it. Again, we want to be quantified. That's what people look for in your role. Are you data-driven? This is a great way to articulate that without even having met the person. They're going to see this and be like, wow, this person is very metrics-oriented, data-driven. This is what we want. So here we'll look at those bullets. Launched company from seed to 2,000 plus customers, achieved consistent 30% month-over-month growth, and built a compelling data-driven story for investors, resulting in a 5 million Series A funding. Very, very clear what we're able to deliver. Quantified. Okay, you delivered a number of customers. That's great. You achieved a certain percent of growth month over month. That's great. Quantified. And then you resulted in a dollar amount of Series A funding. Again, quantified. Very good. That's all in one. That bullet's a little long, but it's so impactful and important, it's okay to run over one line and go into two. All right, the next one, formulated a content SEO strategy that delivers 6,000 unique new monthly visitors. There again, quantified metrics and what you delivered. What was the end goal? What was the value to the business? Decreased customer acquisition costs by 50% and increased conversion rate from 2% to 3.5%, leveraging A/B testing. Okay, a lot of good keywords in there. A/B testing is a big one in my space. Good to use those there as well. And then another one, mapped customer journey, touch points, channels, and comms that delivered a 72 NPS net promoter score. Again, quantified as well. Oh, just bumped the camera there, of course. All right. And then let's talk a little bit about how far back to go. So here you'll see a consolidated format that I had previously used when I had real estate and I didn't have as much job history to fill. So I just consolidate these down in this section here. You can see single lines, right? You don't have the paragraph, you don't have the bullets, but it does, create some relevancy for you. If this may be the situation where you want to use this, where you have a lot of roles and maybe the old ones are not as relevant because they're sort of repeated, newer, this is a great way to do it. Again, most relevant for senior roles, older roles that matter less. Again, about 5 roles is ideal, more or less. Then expand paragraphs or bullets. You saw I had 8 roles on the example we went through before. And then with these older roles, again, it doesn't make sense for me to have those anymore. So I've omitted this section from my resume altogether. I'm just focusing on those more recent roles. But again, this is just another device you can employ to capture older roles if you need to bulk up your resume. Compress early experience, omit older roles, add roles on a single line, no paragraph, no bullets. Yeah, you can see that very clearly here. And then what if you have little to no job experience? You can list internships, part-time jobs, charity, neighborhood projects, hobbies, one-page resume for sure, larger margins, other sections, sports, marathons, music concerts. Be creative and align with the needs of your target job. Again, if you're early in your career, you can get creative. Obviously, they're going to be a little bit more forgiving on that, so you don't need to have a fully fledged out resume like we're seeing here. Let's talk a little bit about the task to achievement transformation. So language you want to use for these bullets or in the paragraph: responsible for, handled, managed. Achievement language: delivered, increased, drove, built. Formula, action to outcome to metric. AI helps insert clarity and metrics, transform tasks into proof. So you basically can use AI to help you wordsmith these a little bit. So you'll see here's a few examples. Again, grew revenue 15% and maintained 100% client renewal rate for first 9 months. So this is a way that you can use it for a customer success manager or a support role where you can employ metrics. For example, it's like ticket resolution time, etc. Right? We talked about the second one. Here is if you just, you're not in really a quantified space, but let's say you built something that the rest of the team used to be more efficient. So developed long tail SEO playbook, created collateral, and trained CS org on best practices. Again, you may not be in a space that has those hard quantified metrics, but you can be creative on how you share your successes in other areas as well. Optimized B2C Max One's funnel and increased demo booking completions from 40% to 90%. So this was when I was running my own growth marketing agency. I had a client who basically would get prospects to sign up for demos, and then most of them didn't show up. Over 50% didn't show up. So we basically improved that onboarding demo funnel with reminders, etc. And we were able to get it upwards of 90. I think it was actually 95%. 19 of 20 of the next signups actually showed up for the demo. So again, another way to put some sort of a success bullet, even if you're not in a heavily quantified space. And then founded enterprise-wide analytics training program with web-based resource center, social media community, and presented webinars to over 100 executives and product owners. Again, creating a new program, creating content that helps your peers be more efficient, etc. There's other things you can do to be creative to populate those success bullets. And let's talk about adding metrics. Again, real metrics, most importantly, revenue, conversion rates, efficiency gains, time savings, cost savings, estimated metrics. So you can use ranges or percentages when absolute numbers are unknown, and AI can help you generate realistic estimates for your space or vertical. So again, you can use AI here as well. Business relevance, metrics must tie to value. Avoid vanity metrics, use concise numbers. So in my space, people will use like, time on site. So how long someone spent on a web page or a website. Those are what I'd consider vanity metrics. Very little value and basically shows sort of immaturity in your marketing program. So again, you want to avoid those to make sure they're helping you and not hurting you. Organizational milestones, delivered funding, founded program, implemented system process, created business entity, etc. Again, could even be a training, Six Sigma certification. Or you helped, a company get on GSA contract with the government, right? That's a pretty big milestone. That's a lot of work. I've done that before. So that's a great example of something that's perhaps not as quantified, but makes a great success bullet. Now, you can target your experience for each job description with AI. I just want to touch upon this briefly. You really should have your gold standard resume that basically covers, 95% of all jobs and all job descriptions. And then you can look at a specific job description, compare your bullets to the job description, look for mismatches or highlight missing skills. So this is a great way you can use ChatGPT or AI or LLM to help you ideate new success bullets more closely tied to or married to the job description based upon what you've done in your past, right? AI rewriting, auto-align language, add relevant phrasing, strengthen keyword integration. These are all things that help create that parity or alignment between your resume and the job description. You can also create role-specific variations. So again, you keep a master version of your resume, and then you create 2 to 3 tailored versions for, let's say, in marketing, like if you were to be product marketing versus demand gen. You have a broader skill set, so you want to have resumes that speak to each one of those. And again, you can use AI to automate those updates. And you can also create company or requisition-specific variations. So have one master resume for each role and only modify the professional experience where it will make substantial impact or difference. For example, this company really wants me to be the HubSpot owner. Okay, well, my resume says I'm the Salesforce owner, but I've used HubSpot, and so I could switch that as well. All right, let's jump into a live demo, building a professional experience entry for a director of customer success. And if you just give me 1 second here. Okay, so we'll go into our guide here and we'll pull a prompt here, create a 3 to 5 sentence paragraph. There you go, and paste in the job description. So we'll focus first on creating the responsibilities section for our Director of Customer Success job description. Okay, so we're going to do, missing an E here. Let's just do that, healthcare. Okay, so we'll go back to ChatGPT. We'll paste in here. Shift enter will give you a empty line. And we'll paste it. Create a 3-sentence paragraph summary of the high-level responsibilities for the following job descriptions, starting with the most impactful at the top and decreasing. Okay, and we paste it in the job description. And here it is. Lead and scale Acme's customer success functions by owning the most strategic health system partnerships. Okay, that one's not bad. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and use our gold standard model. So let's go, where's our prompts down at the bottom, right? Okay. So here, use the following responsibility section as a model for the target job role. Please use, there we go. Let's do this. Okay, we're going to get a little better results giving a ChatGPT. Oh, shoot, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Okay, so let's do this again. There. And let's paste in the job description. Okay, so he says right here, use the following resume section as a model for a, and we're going to put in director of customer success role. Please use the following to create the same for my resume, showing those impactful. Perfect. Okay. Here's a resume ready responsibility section modeled after your example. Tight impact first and descending in importance for a director of customer success role. Built and scaled enterprise customer success function for a safety-focused healthcare LLM platform. Owning executive lead relationships with major health systems and delivering measurable clinical, operational, and financial impact. Beautiful. Love it. Led complex enterprise implementation and change management across clinical workflows, ensuring adoption, outcomes, and long-term account expansion. Develop and coach high-performing CS team, codifying onboarding, training, and success playbooks to drive repeatable, scalable delivery. Love it. Right now you're managing the team, partner cross-functionally. Again, now we're expanding beyond our function with product engineering and sales to translate customer insights into roadmap and go-to-market strategy. Beautiful. Divine success metrics and executive-level reporting frameworks. Represent a company at industry forums to position brand as trusted leader in healthcare AI innovation. Obviously, lesser importance at the bottom, more important at the top. So this is a great one. And of course, we'll just say yes to both of these. And here you can see that we're not going to have the metrics here, again, because we're going to put them in the bullets below. So let's actually go back to our prompts. And we're going to use this, paste in the following. So let's actually go back here. Oops, didn't want to do that. All right, let's do this. What's a create 3-day context of this with my resume demonstrated with the following message. Let's just do that. Let's see if it has the context. Oh, missing, of course. Okay. So let's do that. And here we go. Quantified success bullet. Structure of customer success profile. Own and executive relationships across 10+ enterprise health systems, driving a 32% increase in platform adoption and delivering measurable outcomes, including 18% reduction in clinical workflow friction and $6.5 million in expansion revenue across strategic accounts. Okay, so there we go. And we can make it a little bit shorter here, doing that. Super tight 3 bullet version. Okay, here you see examples of what we were able to do here to create those success bullets. So I think we've demonstrated that enough. Let's talk a little bit about formatting this section. Again, structure, company title, dates, short paragraph of what, bullets of how well, those success bullets. Again, very, very clear and easy. Visual hierarchy, bold titles, plain text for bullets, indentation, consistency. As we showed before, very easy to scan the resume and see each role and all of the sections very, very quickly. 2 to 5 lines per paragraph, 1 line per bullet is ideal. Keep bullets concise, avoid clutter. Resume real estate is precious. 2-line bullets if justified. We saw how those were quite long, that ChatGPT output, but there was a lot of meat, a lot of quantified successes in there. So it was okay to have those longer. And of course, as we did and demonstrated, you can use AI to shorten those as well. It's a great tool for that. Now, final review. ATS validation. You can use AI scanning tools, keyword matching, format, safety. Okay, so you basically can put it in and say, hey, please edit this for ATS, application tracking systems, to make sure they'll bypass any of those filters. Human skimming test. Can someone understand it in 10 seconds? Are outcomes measurable? Is clarity strong? Again, perhaps getting a peer to review it. Also getting feedback from recruiters potentially as well. And your action item, of course, is to build your own professional experience section now. Build it for your most recent job. Rinse, repeat, going back 15 years or about 5 positions or companies. Again, just a rough rule. You can modify to your liking as well. Super. And in summary, here's what we covered today in this very, very rich, information-rich, and high-value lesson. We talked about the objective of the job history section, how far back to go. We talked about that task to achievement transformation, adding metrics, and target experience for each job description with AI as appropriate, as well as formatting this section. We did a live demo with ChatGPT and talked a little bit about final review. So again, very comprehensive overview of your professional experience summary, the most real estate intensive section on your resume. For those of you who do want to go faster, I do offer one-on-one coaching. You can book a discovery call there, and we take this a lot further, right? We sort of fuel this on LinkedIn to create a job opportunity inbound growth engine. So again, you're going to get more outreach, more recruiters viewing your profile on LinkedIn, more recruiters messaging you about roles. Increase your profile views as per these metrics here. And again, these are some of the results that I've been able to achieve. Obviously, results are not guaranteed. There's a lot of factors. For example, if you're in a space that's highly specialized, you're going to not be able to get as much traction per se, not as many eyes, not as many roles potentially, and some other factors at play there. But we do generally are able to help students achieve their primary goal, which is to accelerate getting their next opportunity faster, and of course, increasing their salary generally 15 to up to 35%, depending upon where they're at. So if you are interested, you do have a impending need, perhaps you need to find a job as soon as possible, definitely can help you do that. Again, schedule a one-on-one discovery call. We could talk about all the ways that we can work together. And if you haven't already, make sure to join the free complete course located at school.com/AI-resume-masterclass. Again, completely free. You're going to get a lot of value out of that. Get access to all 7 lessons. You'll be able to download that gold standard AI resume template that you can build upon, so you're not starting from scratch. There's a community where you get questions answered, as well as subtopics to cover specific things as well. And most importantly, let's do this. You get what you measure, focus on, and where you take action. So best of luck. We'll see you in the next lesson, which is lesson 5, education and languages. This section seems innocent enough, but you need to learn what unintentional bias triggers to avoid adding this section that could get you disqualified, especially from humans who are reviewing your resume. So very, very important stuff. As always, I'll see you in the next lesson, and upwards.